Right friends, welcome back to third capsule. This is on government and black money. I listed out total 11 steps taken by the present government after they came to power in May 2014. And before going ahead, let us look at some factual information. Tax to GDP ratio in our country is almost stagnant at around 17 to 18% for the past 10 years. Then corporation tax accounts for around 60% of total direct tax collections of around rupees 8 lakh crores. Out of the total direct tax collections of around rupees 8 lakh crores, corporation tax is 60%. That means the tax paid by the corporates, but income tax is less. There is every scope for increasing the income tax in our country. The income tax in our country is around 3 lakh crores if I am not wrong. So there is every possibility that more and more people can be brought into the tax net. Then share of indirect taxes is increasing in comparison to direct taxes. This is the unfortunate aspect of Indian taxation system. Indirect taxes share is increasing in comparison to direct taxes. You may ask a pertinent question, what is the problem if the share of indirect taxes increase? If the share of indirect taxes increase, then that will be regressive in nature. Common man will be affected badly. Indirect taxes affect all alike, not like direct taxes. Indirect taxes affect the persons staying in huts right up to multimillionaires in the same way almost, depending on the utility of goods and services. Then in our country, 5.43 crore filed tax returns. Our population is around 128 crore. Only 5 crores odd filed tax returns, and total PAN cards are around 25 crores. And out of total tax collections to the central government, 92% comes from this tax deduction at source, as well as advance tax, as well as self-assessment tax, and only 8% comes during scrutiny. And the parallel economy or black economy is estimated to be around 25% to 75% of the real economy based on various estimates. And our real economy is around $2 trillion. Please don't forget, I listed out various aspects. Let me go briefly because we deliberated during various lectures during the past 2 years. The first one is Special Investigation Team or SIT, headed by former Justice M.B. Shah, was appointed in May 2014. They gave some of the radical recommendations I have listed out here. They recommended cash transactions limit of 3 lakh rupees. No cash transaction beyond rupees 3 lakh. Then another radical recommendation is cash holding limit rupees 15 lakh. If anyone is holding more than rupees 15 lakh in cash, he can be charged. So that is the radical recommendation given by SIT. And the remaining recommendations, another recommendation with far-reaching consequences is details with regard to exports, imports, as well as foreign exchange transactions must be given to Directorate of Revenue Intelligence as well as Enforcement Directorate for verification, because it is suspected that lot of bogus transactions are taking place in exports, imports. Exports, imports are another conduit for black money in our country. And because of it, M.B. Shah Committee on Black Money recommended that all the transactions must be given to Directorate of Revenue Intelligence as well as Enforcement Directorate for verification. And they recommended mandatory quoting of permanent account number for all the cash transactions. Right. Then second one is government passed black money, undisclosed foreign income and assets, and Imposition of Tax Act 2015. This was passed in the year 2015, basically to look at the black money stashed outside the country. And here It involves a tax of 30%, penalty of 90% of undisclosed income. But before bringing this into force, government has given one-time compliance window, and under this compliance window, total 60% is to be paid, and 644 declarations came, amounting to a total value of rupees 4,147 crores, and government is expected to get rupees 2,400 crore, both as tax and penalty. And PAN was made mandatory from January 1, 2016 for all the transactions exceeding rupees 2 lakh for sales or purchases, and at the same time cash payment aggregating to more than rupees 50,000 in a year require PAN number as per the Government of India instructions. Then the next point is income declaration scheme was brought. Whatever we have discussed under point number 2, that is undisclosed income abroad, and this point is with regard to undisclosed income in our country, and this income declaration scheme 2016 was brought. 4 months window was given, and here around 64,000 declarations were made, and total amount declared was rupees 65,250 crore, and government is expected to get around rupees 30,000 crore under this program, because here tax is 30%, Krishi Kalyan cess is 25% of tax, that means 7.5% of undisclosed income, and penalty is 25% of tax, that is 7.5% of undisclosed income. So here total 45%, whatever the amount they have declared, out of it 45% will go to government, and government will get rupees 30,000 crore. Bonomi transactions Prohibition Amendment Act came into force on 1st November 2016. From 1st November 2016 onwards, the new act, which is known as Prohibition of Bonomi Property Transactions Act or PBPT Act came into force. Here it defined what is Bonomi transaction more clearly. And the second point is the violation of the act is punishable up to imprisonment of 7 years along with fine. Then the next one is, just now we have discussed, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana disclosure scheme was brought by the government, and this is valid up to 31st March 2017. Here tax, penalty, everything comes to around 50%, and 25% will be locked in for 4 years under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana deposit scheme. I have given the details here, please go through it because we have deliberated in the previous capsule. Then Goods and Services Tax legislation was passed by Parliament. This is 101 Constitution Amendment Act. And because of this, after the implementation within 1 or 2 years, GDP is expected to grow by 1% to 2%. In the short term, there may be some problems, but in the long run, GDP is expected to grow, and it will reduce substantially the logistics costs, and GST has got the scope of becoming a real One India. And here I have given all these taxes are going to be subsumed under Goods and Services Tax. Then Project Insight was launched by Income Tax Department. How they are going to track the tax evaders? They use various social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter. Through data mining, big data and analytics, they will look at the tax evaders. Then double taxation avoidance agreement protocols were amended, first with the Mauritius, then with the Cyprus, basically to reduce the possibility of base erosion and profit shifting. What the multinational companies are doing, they are shifting the profits to low tax destinations so as to reduce that incidence. This double taxation avoidance agreement protocols were amended, and now the tax becomes source based, not residence based, from 1st April 2017. Right, here I have given the difference between foreign portfolio investment as well as foreign direct investment. Then the next one is Multilateral Competent Authority Agreement was signed by India in 2015, and from 2017 onwards, among the signatories, this automatic exchange of information will be direct. Automatic exchange of information tax related information will be there from 2017 onwards, because India is also signatory to multilateral competent authority agreement. This will reduce the instance of tax avoidance or tax evasion. Then the last one is, it is made mandatory for various organizations to file annual information return in the following cases. Annual information returns are to be filed in the following cases: when the real estate property transaction exceed rupees 30 lakh in a year, when the investments in mutual funds exceed rupees 2 lakh in a year, when total bills pertaining to credit card usage exceeds rupees 2 lakh in a financial year, and at the same time when total cash transaction exceeds rupees 10 lakh in a financial year. If there is any suspicious financial transaction is involved, then Financial Intelligence Unit under the Ministry of Finance will look at these transactions. Right friends, this is all about various steps taken by the government to control black money during the past 2.5 years. I discussed briefly because we deliberated these things in great detail during the current affairs during the past 2 years. Right friends, have a nice day. Thank you.